there, Remigate. And the top review.
The racing week started off relatively slowly as I was looking for a chance to come out here during the week, but really there weren't any quality bets. And on Wednesday I only had one. It was in a maiden claiming the 5th race. We were on the turf going 8.5 furlongs and had to be worried that number 3 Fast Mama from the Chad Brown barn was simply being dumped out of much better, and as a $300,000 sales purchase, just had to wonder how good she really was, as the connections had to be disappointed. The main threat was Bill Mott's Run Blondie Run, who I've been chasing all meet long and just don't have any confidence in her anymore. So I tripled the bet on number 3 Fast Mama.
Right into the race now, 5 wide and charging home with an 1/8 of a mile to go. Fast Mama has the lead, but Moe's Ginny launching a bit on the outside. Moe's Ginny and Fast Mama. Fast Mama digging in. Moe's Ginny one more time. It's Fast Mama and Moe's Ginny. Moe's Ginny cannot get by Fast Mama, who won it.
And I had my first winner of the week. On Thursday, the day started off relatively slowly, but then I closed with a flurry. In the 5th, it was a starter optional claimer on the turf going a mile for 3-year-olds, and I thought Ferdinanda came out of a maiden win facing winners for the first time, but this was far, far from a formidable field, and the favorite looked to be number 2 Annabella Queen. But even though she won for the same tag, she'd been 2nd or 3rd in 4 tries since, and her best buyer figure was average at best. So I went with Ferdinanda in the 5th.
It's Ferdinanda with that sharp move, committed for home, but the favorite Annabella Queen is back for more. And the 2 favorites are shoulder to shoulder with less than an 1/8 of a mile to go. And Ferdinanda kicks away again. Annabella Queen is back to 2nd. This is a very impressive win for Ferdinanda. She won it by 2.5.
Had my first winner Thursday. In the 6th race, I like number 7 Dirty. Dirty had been the maiden threat to Magnum Moon, or at least the bettors thought so, when Magnum Moon was so impressive in his debut sprint in mid-January when I was in New Orleans and made him the bet of the day. The Todd Pletcher colt is now on the Derby trail. Dirty had disappointed again after that, but today he was dropping in for a first-time tag, but the question was he was going on the turf. I'm like, yeah, he's pretty quick, but he sat off the pace today.
Inside, Dirty on the outside. Too Much Data is on a roll now and trying to get to Dirty, who just took the lead. Here's Too Much Data at Dirty. Dirty with the advantage. Too Much Data is up into 2nd, but time has run out to get to Dirty. It's Dirty in front. Too Much.
Oh yeah, doubled the bet and had my 2nd win. The finale on Thursday was a maiden claimer, 3-year-old, and at first glance I thought, there's nothing really in here. And then I got down to number 11, Uncle Junior. Jason Service, he is 33% with turf sprinters. Irad Ortiz, who's 40% for Jason Service, and he was dropping out of a $35,000 race where he was 3rd into this $20,000, 2nd time off the shelf. Well, duh. Pressed the pace into the stretch.
Slightly tipsy into the clear to try to get into a run, and Lady of Shady Lane saves ground toward the rail. Now there's an 1/8 of a mile to go, and the leader, Uncle Junior, by 2.5. Rahi Moment is all in. Here's a good late run from Bright Venezuelan up into 2nd, but the winner is the favorite, Uncle Junior. Uncle Junior by 3 in the end.
And that makes 3 on Thursday. Friday, March the 2nd. The 6th race was a maiden special weight for 3-year-olds on the turf, and Musical Heart was the DRF best bet of the day. This runner just looked so good to me on several angles, but one of my favorite angles with lightly raced turf runners is when they come off the dirt onto the turf and their buyer just explodes. And that's what happened here as Musical Heart went from a 56 to an 84. Looked to be on the pace, but instead Luis Saez set off the pace into the far turn.
Strikes to the lead. Some racing room now for Love Sick Kitten. Logic over the top. Isolated. Musical Heart. 5 chances here. Art Collection for a lead. Musical Heart and Love Sick Kitten run on. The 2 favorites now to settle the score. Musical Heart digging in to win it.
Oh yeah, tripled the bet on number 3 Musical Heart. The 7th was an entry-level allowance, and typically a good betting angle is the double buyer advantage with speed figures, but that horse today was 11, 1, 3, and 3, and all of his best figures had been earned when being 2nd, 3rd, or worse. Instead, I like Todd Pletcher's number 5, Driven to Compete, who had walked with it last time out by over a dozen lengths in breaking his maiden. And the fact that he'd run 3rd to Always Dreaming, who'd won the Florida and Kentucky Derbies last year, I thought this guy had some quality. I upped the bet and tripled it on number 5, Driven to Compete.
Driven to Compete now set down for the drive and has the lead. On the inside, an Awesome Thought from 2nd. Salute with Honor going to try to kick home from 3rd. Final furlong, Driven to Compete has the lead. On the outside, and Salute with Honor, he got in the clear but could not reach the favorite. Driven to Compete still there. Salute with Honor's out of time. Driven to Compete.
Oh yeah, another Pletcher winner. That was his 50th of the meet, and I've probably had more than 40 of them. The 9th was my bet of the day. Originally it was not supposed to be, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought that number 2 National Flag for Todd Pletcher was just going to run lights out. Off the layoff, on the dirt, Pletcher always wins with those here. He was Jason Blewett's single in his pick 6 ticket, and the only horse that he had to worry about was a horse who won last time out, but that day I did not like him because that horse, the trainer was 0 for 94 and he won. So now the trainer was 1 for 95. Still, like the analyst said, if that had been a Todd Pletcher horse, probably would have been 1 to 5, but he wasn't. National Flag was. Pressed the pace into the turn, and then looked like he was spinning his wheels, and then
Outside of National Flag 2nd, Ella's My Love 3rd, 316 from
with the
home.
advantage, but National Flag starts to get motivated and is straightened up by Johnny V now. And here's National Flag at 3 to 5 to overhaul Beltape Seri, who's game well 2nd, but 2nd he is to National Flag, who's a comeback winner.
oh yeah, watching it from home, I had 50 to win. Later that night, early Saturday morning, it was the return of the mighty mare, Winks, in the Group 1 Chipping Norton Stakes at Royal Randwick. Going a mile, she'd missed her prep race because her jockey had been suspended, and I was a little concerned about that, a little concerned that she was going a mile to start off, but she'd won 6 times at this distance, and she'd won 22 in a row, including 16 Group 1s. Off a beat slowly.
Winks is still back second last of the 600 metres, but starting to creep into the race now, and 3 further back to Lasquetti Spirit on the point of the turn. It's Stampede in front. Classic Uniform comes off the fence. Prized Icon 3rd, and Winks is starting to loop the field. 400 out. It's Stampede in front, but Winks, Hugh Bowman just sitting there like a department store mannequin, hasn't touched the mare, and off she goes. Prized Icon going home into 2nd, and Librun's making ground, but nudge, nudge. Wink, wink, away she goes, the champ, and this is an Australian record of 16 Group 1s. Winks powers away to beat Prized Icon.
100 to win on Winks. And the mighty mare has come through to win again. The 8th at Gulfstream was the Grade 2 Devona Dale for 3-year-old fillies, hoping to stamp their ticket to the Gulfstream Park Oaks and then the Grade 1 Kentucky Oaks. I thought that Phipps Stable Shug McGahee's Fly So High, number 8, who was the program favorite, was certainly the most talented in here. McGahee never has his horses cranked for their debut. When they run well early, they've got talent. She was a sharp 3rd in her first start and then won decisively in her maiden event. She came down here for the winter, and she went in an allowance company in a 1-turn mile just like this. It was all over as the crowd pounded her down to 1 to 5. So she headed into the gate today. She was again the favorite. I had prime time on her. Paco Lopez, who was on the 6 horse, stayed in the middle of the track, forcing her about 8 or 9 wide until they hit the far turn. Moved 3 wide around the turn.
They're out the top of the stretch. Irad Ortiz Jr. in Heaven has My Nikki has the lead. Take Charge Paula tries to split horses. Fly So High on the outside. Cash has no place to go. 3/16 to go. Heaven has My Nikki. Tussles with Fly So High. Fly So High.
First winner on the day. A long 10-race streak to get here, but hey, 7 for 11 of the last 2 days. Can't win them all. The 9th at Tampa was a maiden special weight event going 1 mile and 40 yards. My pick was number 5, Demolition. Demolition was last seen on Pegasus World Cup Day here at Gulfstream in a maiden special weight race where Life's a Parlay, Todd Pletcher's first-time starter, had broken from post 14 and was my bet of the day, and he won for fun. Well, the fact that he shipped to Tampa, I thought he was facing a weaker group today, and the horses that had run 2nd and 3rd that day were running back today at Gulfstream about 20 minutes before post time here at Gulfstream. So Demolition sat about mid-pack. There was a hot pace up front, circled at least 5 wide through the far turn. Oh yeah, opened up, scored. I tripled the bet, got back over $50. And it's a good thing I didn't pay attention to those other 2 horses because they ran 3rd and 4th behind a 7-1 and a 35-1. Ouch. But I had the winner. Over $50.
Miss Katie Bug, but inside the final furlong, if you backed 11s, you can go to the window and collect. 11s is running up the score. 11s is an easy winner, won it by at least 10. Miss Katie Bug gets on for 2nd ahead of Midnight Soiree 3rd. Glorious Moment, a tough customer in the lane, and she leads a length and a half. Starship Hostility way up the center to try to get to her 2nd. 4 clear of Roll It Gal 3rd. 16th of a mile to go. Glorious Moment still has the lead. Starship Hostility going to take another run. Glorious Moment, Starship Hostility, Glorious Moment. Tip sheet needs room from the outside. A Millionaire Runner. Biblical's guided to the far outside as they wheel for the judge. Regal, Quality, and Biblical. They sweep by the field with Millionaire Runner back 3rd, then Tip Sheet and Time on Target. It's down to which Pletcher will do it. Biblical, the Graham, as center, has the momentum to the leader, and Biblical is going to get up and win it. Biblical in front.